Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. As the police department's budget comes up for review before the city council, Chief Rich St. John tonight addresses the controversy of 3 officers having sex on the job.
I assure you that despite assertions that this department is corrupt, engages in malfeasance, and does not hold their people accountable, that is patently false. To reiterate what Mr. McCandless said, I have 189 employees that come to work every day and for the most part get it right every day. And to paint the entire department in that light is unfair.
Following a significant discussion on the issue, the chief presented the Billings Police Department's upcoming fiscal year budget, which calls for a $726,000 increase.
Now, last year alone, city police responded to more than 94,600 calls for service. Personnel is the largest cost increase in the police budget, almost $600,000. That includes full staffing of 153 officers and pay increases.
Some of the challenges the department faces: sustainable funding, increased demand for service, new officer recruitment, and the future of the city's evidence facility. City Council could decide to go to the voters for financial support.
We have been successful in the past going to the voters for all those issues. And I think we could again if we can make a good case for it.
Meanwhile, the current Billings Fire Department budget will see a $400,000 decrease, about 2%.
But Chief Bill Rash wants to add a second assistant fire chief in the future and a 911 shift supervisor. The new fiscal year begins the 1st of July.
Cleanup crews were busy mopping up water at the Yellowstone County Courthouse this morning. This after a faucet was left running on Judge Rod Souza's chambers over the weekend.
Superintendent of Facilities Greg Erpenbach tells us that leaking faucet left about an inch of standing water in the judge's chambers, his courtroom, and also across the hall on the 5th floor. Water also leaked down a floor, getting into the records room of the clerk and recorder's office. The water did damage a dozen ceiling tiles and also soaked lots of carpet and seat cushions.
But city clerk and recorder Jeff Martin says the good news is we dodged a bullet.
They immediately brought in a restoration company, got that dried up. I think it's airing out right now, and just like our office, they got the fans going up there. These records are vital to the real estate and banking community, and it would be devastating if we lost any of our records. So yeah, it's a lucky day for Yellowstone County.
Erpenbach says the cleanup of that water damage should wrap up within a couple days.
Well, speaking of water, onto the weather scene now. Bob McGuire joining us. Bob, we had some lightning, thunder, and rain in the offing today, but hail not that far away from Billings.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning today was issued in northeastern Yellowstone County and parts of Treasure County and even Bighorn County. But this is what it looked like at Custer in the extreme northeastern edge of Yellowstone County today. Denny Dinger sent this picture into us from Custer. And as you can see, there's some hail for you. It looks like pretty much dime-size hail, but we did have 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that made this a severe thunderstorm warning, and also had some hail that got very close. I think almost, I believe it was nickel-size hail today. So that was kind of some big hail there. Here's what's happening tonight. You'll notice the Doppler radar shows a low-pressure cell just south of Glasgow and Garfield County. That is what is left of our big storms tonight. And as we zoom in, you can see here on the 3D Doppler, most of the stuff that's still to come to the Billings area is just some light scattered sprinkles. That's about it. This whole upper-level low-pressure cell is going to spin out of the area tonight, and we get to start brand new tomorrow. And our forecast shows a slight chance for some rain. We'll chat more about that in a few more minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Bob.
Meanwhile, in Missoula, county officials there say rising waters could impact up to as many as 1,400 homes.
The Clark Fork River expected to hit major flood stage as soon as Tuesday as waters rise to levels not seen since the mid-1970s. The Missoula County Office of Emergency Management has requested 100,000 sandbags to protect infrastructure. As the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers works to fill that order, the agency is on the ground in Missoula County to evaluate levee and stream levels. That will help determine if more help is needed.
Over in the Helena Valley, high water has stranded hundreds of residents there who have now had to be relocated to the county fairgrounds. Take a look at the water rushing through this neighborhood. For many elderly and disabled residents, they have been unable to access basic supplies and food, as many of the trailers and RV parks dealing with swollen creeks and ditches. Water's been shut off to a number of homes, and volunteers are going door to door as they try to help those in need. We're told supplies are running short. The city and county's supply of sandbags running quite thin. On the Big Island of Hawaii, residents there dealing with an onslaught of hot lava from the Kilauea volcano. And so far, dozens of homes have been destroyed, more than 1,000 people forced to evacuate. Carter Evans is there and brings us the latest.
A fountain of lava more than 100 feet high, telephone poles lighting up like matchsticks, and this time-lapse video shows a house being consumed by molten rock. These are the haunting images of Kilauea unleashing its fury. The lava has already devoured more than 24 homes in the neighborhood of Leilani Estates. This car never stood a chance.
Up here in the helicopter, you can really see the destruction down below. You don't see any firefighters down there because there is nothing they can do. This is an unstoppable force.
High levels of toxic sulfur dioxide gas and hundreds of earthquakes still rock this community. Kilauea has been in a constant state of eruption since 1983. The most recent eruptions were caused in part by the collapse of a crater that was filled with lava. When it caved in, the lava traveled along a hose-like tunnel underground called a lava tube, where pressure built up and formed cracks that burst, spewing lava hundreds of feet into the air. We hiked through thick brush to see the lava up close. At first glance, it may not look like the lava is moving at all, but take a look right here at the leading edge. It is still slowly inching forward along the road. For a second straight day, county officials are allowing some of the 1,700 people evacuated to return to pick up the essentials, knowing they might have to leave again at a moment's notice. Kalena Kealoha fled the California wildfires for his dream home here. Now the lava flows are just feet away.
I was going to raise my daughters here, but doesn't look like it's going to turn out to be the scenario we hoped.
Amber Makuakani's home is already gone, and the single mom does not know how to tell her 4-year-old son.
I need to figure that out. Yeah, my son asks, Mommy, can we go home?
Scientists say there's no prediction on how long this eruption will last. A similar one occurred in this area in 1955, and that one lasted for 88 days. Carter Evans, CBS News, Pahoa, Hawaii.
Stunning news out of New York State, where the Attorney General resigned tonight just a few hours after a magazine article went public.
The state's chief law enforcement officer there stepped down tonight after 4 women alleged that he physically abused them. CBS's Elaine Quijano picks up the story.
New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman is resigning. The New Yorker magazine published a report Monday in which 4 women who had previous romantic relationships with Schneiderman accused the Attorney General of hitting them. 2 of the women told the magazine he repeatedly hit them, often after drinking and frequently in bed. In a statement late Monday, the Attorney General said in part, quote, "In the last several hours, serious allegations, which I strongly contest, have been made against me. While these allegations are unrelated to my professional conduct or the operations of the office, they will effectively prevent me from leading the office's work at this critical time." Schneiderman also said his resignation will be effective by close of business Tuesday. Schneiderman has recently become a national figure because of his involvement in the Me Too movement and his lawsuit against Harvey Weinstein.
Back here in Montana, Lincoln, Montana, perhaps best known around the nation, perhaps the world, as the home of Unabomber Ted Kaczynski.
The small town 56 miles north of Helena is back in the spotlight as a new TV show and a movie will focus on the case.
MTN's Margaret DeMarco tonight is on special assignment to show us how the small town has changed over the last 22 years.
22 years ago, this small Montana town was put on the map after the Unabomber was apprehended here.
We've been around for a long time.
Jerry Burns moved to Lincoln, Montana when he was 7 years old.
We had more service stations at that time, and we had the sawmills were going pretty good. We didn't have a high school up here, so we boarded away to Augusta.
After college and a year of fighting in the Vietnam War, Burns came back home to start his career.
I wanted to work for the Forest Service all the time, so.
Burns soon went into the law enforcement side of the service and worked with the FBI in several cases over the years. In January of 1996, the FBI contacted Burns and asked him to come to Helena, but told him not to tell anyone.
And at that time, the Freemen were in Montana. We have some people in Lincoln with similar beliefs, so I thought it was a Freeman case.
Burns says he was shocked to learn that Ted Kaczynski was a suspect in the Unabomber case.
Knew where he lived, and we called him the hermit that lived under Baldy, so, you know, he never had too much contact with a lot of people.
In April, with only a search warrant in hand, Burns, along with FBI agents Tom McDonald and Max Knoll, headed to Kaczynski's cabin.
Got up to Ted's cabin, I started yelling, Ted, are you home? And he opened the door. Ted were with the mining company because you show us your boundary lines. He went to step back in the cabin, and I grabbed his wrist, and out he came.
The search team made their way into the cabin, and they found several items that linked Kaczynski to the Unabomber case.
He kept a daily diary of everything he did and all the bombs he had sent and everything, and he had his typewriter that he wrote the manifesto on.
And over the years, Burns has kept the confession letter and diaries that Kaczynski wrote in every day.
An operation of this size and scale is unprecedented. We believe it to be a singular opportunity to lure the Unabomber into the light.
Over the last 22 years, there have been several media stories, a TV show, and now a film is being shot right here in Lincoln.
TV show, that was terrible. It was very inaccurate.
But there are a lot of people in the town of Lincoln that do not like the attention the Unabomber case brings to the town.
Part of the Lincoln history and everything, so it's going to be around.
The community of Lincoln prides themselves on how much they have grown in the last 22 years. They have a sculpture park, they developed the river park, and they've even recently become a gateway community to the Continental Divide Trail. On special assignment, Margaret DeMarco, MTN News.
Margaret tells us there's still no release date for the new Unabomber film, but it is currently being shot in the Lincoln area. We'll, of course, keep you posted.
Still ahead on tonight's 10 o'clock news, this business was the heart of downtown Billings for decades. Tonight's Q2's Rewind revisits the Hart Alvin department store.
And coming up later in sports, meet the Midland Roundtable's next Athlete of the Year finalist, a fierce football competitor at senior high.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.